that's going to show you why I say I really appreciate that Kennesaw State University had this program. Because I love games, video games, computer games, anything related to study when I was young. And it was 1990s, 20 years ago. I'm about 5-6-year-old boy. Games is a lot of fun. I can play games forever, 24 hours non-stop probably. And I never tried that because my parents stopped me always. But that's good. That's why I got my degree, came here, teach computer games. And Nintendo, and hero for me. That's the only games we have. Not that many. If I remember correctly, I only had 2 to 3 games at the same time, different games. We didn't have that many choices. Not like right now. You're so lucky. And also Game Boys and Game Boys Advance. Game Boys is a single color one. And at that time, games very simple. Like this. It's my one of the favorite. It looks like a block by block, pixel by pixel. And even the background music is composed by single note. Not like today. We have stereo music, even 3D audio feedback, 3D object, totally different. And at that time, I have to say, computer game programmers, they are the best programmers in the world, no matter when. Back to 20 years ago, they're dealing with the storage problem. At that time, hardware is the most important problem. We are talking about memory right now. It's about like terabyte, gigabyte, megabyte. Nobody is using kilobyte right now. And back to 1990s, people are talking about byte, bit, and kilobyte is luxury. Megabyte is something like millionaire. So, do you have any idea the difference between byte and the terabyte?
The one that for bytes and kilobyte and 1024 kilobytes and megabyte 1024.
Great. You can't stop right now. let's make that problem easier. In computer science, every time we are talking about 1,000, it's 124 because we always go by 2. It's binary. But let's keep the question simple. 1,000 is a K. So from byte, kilobyte is 1,000, 3 zeros, megabyte another 3 zeros, gigabyte another 3 zeros, terabyte is another 3 zeros. Between byte and terabyte is 12 zeros behind 1. So hardware is not a problem at this time, but it was a problem back to 1990s. They had to code everything. They had to optimize their program at any chances to save the memory. And they code each color by pixel. They send the color data to the memory. They had to make it move. They had to store the music. So it's really hard. They're brilliant. And that game, I can't imagine how fun it is. I'm still playing it right now. I still have this simulator in my PC. I love it. And okay, I love games. That's why I want to do a game programmer. And when I entered my college, I chose computer science as my major. I don't believe there's any program was teaching computer gaming design and development at that time, back to 2000s. Probably a few universities in the United States, but definitely not in China. Computer science is the closest one I can have. And I start learning programming and mathematics, science, physics, engineering, and everything is related to programming or software engineering. As a software engineer, still we are coding everything. The only related topic is called computer vision and computer graphics. We were using this tool called OpenGL to program our 3D characters, animations. It's still coded like this. You see, this is my coding window. This is the objects I coded. Every single sphere, cones, like cubes, I have to code it, so where I want to create it, which shape. I can't define which shape. I just define the coordinate of each vertices. I define how big it is. I can scale it. If I want to move it, I need to define, okay, I want to start from this coordinate to the other coordinate. It's terrible. And the hardware at that time is not good. It's not good as well. You have to compile, which means you have to spend like a good amount of time before you can see it. So if you're developing a game, like a very, very fancy virtual environment, sometimes you have to wait probably 30 minutes to a couple of hours to see the result. If you're good enough, if you're a good programmer, fast one, you may did it in once. If you're not good, just like me, I have to try like hundreds of times. It's horrible. I don't want to wait. Another reason I call this is not game, because I have those things. See how different they are. That's the game. Soccer evolution, need for speed. And this is programmed. It's still fun. The game is still for my motivation. I think I have one of the Xbox. I don't have PlayStation. They're too expensive. Different than the Nintendo games, I have 10 or 20 different games for Xbox. It's very hard for me to play Xbox games because I don't know if you heard the Xbox console had those design problems. One of the parts is really easy to get overheated and they're gonna disconnect it. And you're lucky you're here. You can get a free exchange. We did it. I have to build my own cooling system to keep my Xbox working. I know. But it's working. I don't want it super expensive. I don't want it gold. Okay. It still motivates me a lot. That's the game I want to build. I just try to keep learning the computer science knowledge and I try to dream one day I will be able to design a game. And however, I didn't know anything at that time. But the good thing is, you have to find something really interesting. Then you will never give up. And I applied graduate school in the United States because this is the best place. And I heard the first game engine in my life, which is called XNA. It's Microsoft game engine. You can use it for developing Xbox games or the other platform game, PC games, which is a lot easier, really a lot easier. It handles most of the computer gaming problems. It handles create objects, doing translations, doing rotations, doing matrix calculations. It makes the program a lot easier. I know a little bit more about how to design or develop a game, but still coding. Unfortunately, I noticed the computer gaming programmer is still hard, still compatible, challenge, because you are not only a computer programmer, you're not a software engineering. We don't have the hardware problem at all. But to design a computer game, a good video game, science, engineering are not enough. You need a good game story. You need to design a good game levels. Have you heard a game called Assassin's Creed? Mm-hmm. That's a very good example about history. So if you have any interest in joining to the computer gaming industry, you better have good background on history too. It's not only about mathematics. Of course, you have to know the mathematics, matrix, calculus 1, calculus 2 is required, minimum required. All of the computer science courses are required. Computer gaming is beyond computer science. You need to learn extra like computer graphics, computer vision, how to design games, how to build 3D models. You better have some art background. Have a, not fancy, but at least a comfortable graphics, right? Question?
Let me make that wrong, but I know I'm going to get my question. But my question to you was, you said you was in China, right?
Yes.
So you came over here to learn how to do graphic design and build games.
Yes.
But wouldn't it be easier to do it over there? Since they're better and
Why do you think China is better? Let me finish that question first. I have to say, honestly, if you run a game industry business, China probably a better place because the labor is cheaper. However, our industry is in China. The game industry in China is not as good as here. Japan probably a better place, but here it's always better. Question?
Well, it's more of a China has one of the top ranking countries for schooling and education, so that's why he probably said that.
Oh, I have to say, I was failed as a computer gaming programmer because in China we're learning for exams. My major is science and half science, half engineering. So I didn't do a good job in these histories, geology, even biology. But those things you may need all of them for computer gaming, seriously. And that's why the courses I can teach right now is more about computer gaming development side, not design side. I can teach how to build a 3D model, how to learn the concept. I can teach the concept of how to build a 3D model, but I can't teach you how to build a good-looking 3D model. I can do the arts. I can let you know how to design game levels, what type of stories is going to be a good story for a computer game or video game, but I can't teach you how to write it. I can evaluate it with you, help you out, but I can write it. I don't have that ability. I can do the programming better. So it's very competitive, very challenging to become a computer game programmer. So you better be prepared since now. And I have to say, you may be able to get 20% more pay if you can get into the game industry. And by the way, I always told my students, because computer gaming is beyond computer science, and I told them probably only 20% of you can find a job in game industry, and the rest of you still stay in the computer science field, IT field. You may find a game needs some computer gaming background. I'm going to talk about that later. The game industry is very hard, but it's very interesting, I have to say. It's very interesting. That's the motivation. Any more questions?
I have a question. I know in America, the independent game community is really burgeoning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, single developers, groups of friends, people who know each other online. Is it the same way in China, or is it more you have to get a job at a company if you want to get in?
At least right now, it's different in China. You have to get a job. I have to say, living cost, even the living cost is cheaper in China. But you have to have something. The social security is different. People need to get some cost. They have to find a job. But we still have a lot of individual game developers, but they're doing the game designing for part-time. It's a lot different. And even the game industry is harder in China. Usually those good game industry, game companies in China, they may get some fundings from United States. This industry is not that popular in China because usually the parents are not allowing their kids playing video games a lot, just like me. But that's a good thing. Don't play the video games over time. You still need time to do your study, get into the college, and that's why I can come to the Kennesaw State University, join our program, and have a really, really good view of doing how to become a game programmer. That's back to my experience from 2000 to 2010. Another 10 years. I'm still doing my PhD degree, and we had we got there. It's still 2010. I'm still doing my PhD degree, and there are some other game engines started growing at that time. Those two are very popular one at that time. The top one is called Unreal Game Engine, which is very popular right now. I don't know if you've heard an app called the Zen Garden from the App Store, Zen Garden. It's developed by the Unreal Game Engine. Tim Cook, you know this name, right? Apple used the Zen Garden to show off their iPad Air and iPhone 6 graphics ability. So it's very popular. And the bottom one is called Ogre. At that time, it's very popular because it's open source, it's free, so everybody can use it. And when I was a PhD student, I was very lucky. I got the opportunity to know those very, very good technologies. It's very old, but it's very good and interesting. This one is called hand tracking glove. You have to wear it. It has a little box. You have to put those wires on your arm, and you need to learn. You need to be a very good programmer to write a program, communicate between the computer and the glove. It tracks your hand, the gestures, rotation, fingers, movement, but it can't track your hands moving like this. And it's not comfortable at all. And it's wired, it's not wireless. But it's very expensive, like $1,000 at least. It's a very expensive and uncomfortable glove. And this one, the left bottom one, see the big head? It's called head-mounted display. Have you heard of Oculus, Rick? This is the grandfather of Oculus Rift. It's very heavy, very uncomfortable, dizzy, cyber sickness. Every uncomfortable word you can think about is related to this kind of device. I can't wear it more than 5 minutes. And it's super expensive. At least $7,000 to $20,000 at that time. Not affordable. It's only for research purposes at that time. And our research lab can't afford that type of head-mounted display. And the right one, the two pictures show a motion capture system. The reason I put it here because we got the vendor OptiTrack here. It's very good. My advisor got me a whole set of this motion capture system. Includes 12 cameras and the softwares and suits. It's about $10,000. Is it expensive? Yeah. But if it's not OptiTrack, something like Lycom, those big names, it's about $200,000. So OptiTrack does a really good job. I really appreciate that. And you can't tell anything why those virtual reality technology is going to change the game industry. I have no idea, really. And until this is only between 2011 and 2013, 3 years in 2010. We got Google Glass, very wearable device, a show-off device, but not useful, but it's cool, right? We got Oculus Rift. I have to say, Oculus Rift was developed earlier than that, but people heard about that time, after Facebook. And if you remember, I talked about the grandfather head-mounted display. Comparing to that one, Oculus Rift is about $350, which is affordable for every family. And it starts changing the game industry because after Oculus became famous, Google starts their own head-mounted display project. Sony started their own head-mounted display project too. That's why we have the Sony PlayStation 4 head-mounted display right now. It's not a pure game device. We can, of course, it advertised as a game device. We can use it for a lot of purposes. But at least the game industry changing. It's a very, very big move. And if you saw this one, the bottom one, it tracks your both hands wirelessly, 10 fingers. Even in a small range, it tracks your hand movement. That device called Leap Motion. It's that big. It tracks both of your hands. Nothing uncomfortable. And that costs about $200. It's still affordable. And I didn't see any interaction apps for that device, but that's a trend. If you still remember when Microsoft released Kinect, they said use your own body as the controller, which is this one, Xbox 360 Kinect. It tracks your whole body. It is another mini motion capture system in a smaller range. Comparing to OptiTrack, it is about $120. It does the tracking job very good. People can use that for game purpose. That's how the virtual reality technology changed the game industry. Only 1 to 2 years after, see, from where we were starting from 1990s, then 2000s, 10 years after, and another 10 years after 2010. It's very slow. And then 2011, 2013, and 2013, 2014. In this industry, the technology grows very, very fast and even faster. We're not trying to keep the pace. We're trying to push this a lot faster. You know, this is the Oculus Rift Dev Kit 2, the second version. You got 10 times better resolution than Oculus Rift. And got a better head tracking, even can track your head movement a little bit. And this is the Sony Morphe head-mounted display used for PlayStation 4. You can experience your PlayStation 4 games in a more immersive display. This is the Microsoft Kinect 1. The name is weird, but it's the second version. Kinect 1. And it does a lot better job than the original Kinect. It tracks your whole body, tracks your hand, fingers, tracks your face, do face recognition, voice recognition, and it tracks your head movement, it tracks your rotation, estimate your heart rate, estimate your muscle movement. If you jump, is your muscle growing big? So, and estimate the force. If you punch, if you do it slow, it won't hurt. You have to do it faster. With this Kinect, which means playing game with this Kinect is going to be a lot more fun because you have less chance to cheat in the game. All right? And that's how the virtual reality changed the game world. It changed the players' experiences. And then only 1 year after, it's just several months ago, Microsoft released something called HoloLens. I don't know, have you heard that one? How many of you saw the trailer? Great. Let's review it again. It's an amazing trailer. It's called augmented reality technology.
Technology is all around.
You will see how this type of device is going to change the gaming
Every
industry
aspect of our lives.
and how this device is going to change people's lives.
Amazing things. But what if we could go further? What if we could go beyond the screen? Where your digital world is blended with your real world. Now we can. This is the world with holograms. What will they enable us to do? New ways to visualize our work.
So if you remember the Iron Man, how to design the movie, in the movie, you're going to be like the Iron Man, design your work.
And just put the images in OneDrive. More immersive ways to play. New ways to teach and learn.
So put the new trap in a place that people won't love. And tighten here and here.
More ways to collaborate and explore the places we've never been.
Look at this formation. Let's take a closer look.
And new ways to create the things we imagine.
To make the 3D character and 3D object design a lot easier. Which means it makes the game developer
Because
a
when you
lot
change
easier.
the way you see the world, you can change the world you see.
That's how you want to play the game.
This is Microsoft HoloLens.
Okay, that's the difference of the new technology and the future world. And let me introduce the last thing to you, Unity 3D. That's the most popular tool we're used for game development. We're not coding anymore. Of course, we're still doing coding. We're not always coding anymore. If you want to create some objects, just include the 3D objects, don't code it. And if you want to create some simple one, like Sphere, just create objects, fill, and import it to the environment. If you want to change the color, you just click and drag. And of course, you can do drag and drop for the 3D objects. That has changed the entire way of developing a game. And that's why I call it, we're designing the game right now, not coding the game. So that's my own experience. It took me like about 20 years to learn computer games design. And in Kennesaw State University, we have this program runs for 7 years. We have very good course. It's very lucky to have, I can join this program. So hopefully some of you are interested in this program, of course. It's going to be a lot of fun. In this field, even it's more challenge, and it's more interest. You're going to always have those interesting technologies. Not only you, everybody gonna believe this is fun. And as I said, not all of our students can join the game industry. This is the statistic data. About 70% of the top 2,000 public companies in the world will have at least one gamified application by 2014. So in the world business industry, those companies would like to have some mobile apps, which have some functions, gameplay, to reward their customers, to lock their customers. There are two famous examples. One is the Nike Plus. It locked the runners. It locked more runners and introduce this new technology to the other runners who are not using Nike, turn them back to Nike. So if you look at the data from 2007 to 2013, it's from 5K to 11 million. And another example is Starbucks. I'm using this app too. They're gamifying the reward program. Every time you buy coffee, you get a star. You have different levels. After 12 coffees, you got one free. And this is the change. From 2009, the program launched, until 2013, 6 million different. So computer gaming now is not only in the computer gaming industry, it affects the traditional business. So don't think about computer gaming as only about computer gaming right now. It's about something really cool, something really interesting. And you're gonna have a lot of reasons for you to motivate yourself, keep learning new things, and try to change this world. And that's the most important reason I love this film. That's all about today's talk. Let me know if you have any questions, and we're almost out of time. Yes. HoloLens? No, unfortunately not. And HoloLens is only a prototype right now. You have to wear a small computer, and it's very hard to buy. I really wish Microsoft can make it to a commercial product. It would be a totally different world from that.
You
Yes?
said you were working on your PhD. Are you working on it at Kennesaw?
No, I did my PhD at University of Texas at San Antonio.
Online or?
No.
Oh, you went there?
Yeah, I was there for 6 years. And I almost quit until my advisor got me. He's a new advisor, faculty member there. And he said, oh, I can't find any interesting thing I want to do for my PhD. I want to quit. And then he came and he said, do you want to try something really cool? And he sent me some videos, some papers, and that's the virtual reality. I said, hey, yeah, I'm in. So try to find something you really like, which can interest you a lot. And then you trust me, that would be different. I can't believe, before I came to the United States, I don't know anything about virtual reality. Things will change.
Are you thinking better virtual reality or augmented reality?
They're all cool. There's nothing better, different. A little different technology. Augmented reality is part of the virtual reality, except just like the HoloLens. You are trying to integrate virtual reality into the real world. So you can have both real world and virtual world together. I have to say, potentially the augmented reality may have more applications in the real life.
And I have another question. What's your best thing you like about this program?
The best thing like this program is you're going to learn, of course, you're going to learn all of the computer science technology. And then we have very well-designed computer gaming courses for you. And so you don't have to do computer science first. You can do both. You can do computer science and computer gaming together. And you will see how fun is computer science and how fun is computer gaming. The program will never bore you. And plus, we have a lot of, in this industry, even in the university, our research project is the most interesting project everywhere, no matter. We got the most, when I go to those international conferences, this virtual reality and computer gaming field, we got the most female students. We got the most interesting research demo. In Kennesaw State University, we have a set of OptiTrack systems, motion capture system. We have PlayStation 4s, which you can use for develop your game. We have Leap Motion, Kinect, Oculus Rift, all of those things you think is cool here, we have most of them for research and teaching purposes. So is it good enough for this program? And of course, our faculty members are very nice, even to me. Right? Any other question? Okay, so thank you. like this. Maybe a little fresh things in your mind. And remember Kennesaw State University. Remember a guy, a Chinese guy who's weird called Ronkai here.
Well, I do have a question.
No problem.
You're mentioning Kennesaw State University, so if you've got people that are saying that they're going to Southern Poly, and I know they're
We're the
joining-
same one.
So it's the same, so the program you're talking about is the same one that they're gonna be
It's
taking?
the same one, and all of the engineering department from Kennesaw University, Kennesaw State University, are gonna move to Marietta campus. So we're the same. And we have, if you want to go to the graduate program, you need to take the computer science, but you can also choose computer gaming as your specific area. So it's not a problem at all. I got good enough virtual reality and computer gaming project for the student who wants to do this. Of course. But most of the game might be developed is for research purposes. I can't talk about it. It's university. Anything more? All right, really, thank you guys.